Hey kiddies, it's Triple Feature Tuesday, and this week, Bruce is going blonde, baby. Yeah, this one's pretty straightforward. I was listening to We Hate Movies Armageddon episode, and they pointed out that Bruce Willis had this whole kind of year where he was blonde, which is to say, elegant and complicated toupees that he wears were of a blonde bent. So our menu is going to include the Jackal, the Fifth Element, and Armageddon. Yeah, the Jackal. This movie just sucks. There's no two ways about it. This is a remake of the 1970s Fred Zinnemann film, The Day of the Jackal, and honest to God, it is very similar in plot structure and story moments. It's just that they made it dumb. Whereas like the Jackal in the 70s was smart, clever, and subtle. Everything about Bruce Willis's Jackal is kind of over the top and dumb, which is weird because Bruce Willis is actually playing it kind of quiet and everything, but whereas the gun was simple and clever in the original one, in this one, it is so large it requires like a full station wagon to drive it around and fires depleted uranium to kill one person, and then he doesn't even manage to do it. It's ridiculous. Bruce wears an array of different hair pieces throughout the film, but it's heavily implied that the Jackal's natural hair color is actually blonde. But yeah, it sort of works. It's like it's kind of fun how in all three of these movies the blonde, short, closely cropped hair is like the implication of like the more military tough guy, Bruce Willis. This one, the Jackal, though, does have kind of the reverse character arc for Bruce Willis as compared to Fifth Element and Armageddon, where in this movie he starts out very serious, and then as everything is going horribly wrong, he becomes more and more silly and or daffy as the prospect of failure and death looms heavily. Or maybe he was just laughing harder as he was being exposed to Richard Gere's Irish accent more and more. Dear God. Next up we have the Fifth Element, and if you haven't seen the Fifth Element, stop this video right now and go watch it because it is still one of the greatest things ever. Bruce Willis plays ex-space military turned taxi cab driver Corbin Dallas, and into his cab literally falls the greatest woman in the universe, Lilu, played by Milla Jovovich, who is the titular Fifth Element. And after some introductory hijinks, Corbin is tasked with helping Lilu collect the other four elements to stop the ultimate evil from arriving on Earth and wiping out all of human life. I think, yeah, Ian Holm, it's more than just human life. Ian Holm says if he gets there, light turns to darkness, and it's like the entire galaxy will suffer, I guess. But in this one, the hair works. Like, the toupees and the hair pieces in the Jackal, they're effective, but they're also kind of pointing out that he is in disguise, doing disguisey type things. In this one, it's just supposed to be his hair, and it looks good. I don't care what anybody says. I think Bruce looks good with the blonde hair in this movie, I love everything about this movie. There's literally nothing bad about this movie, and I will fight you if you find any fault in it. But yeah, Corbin Dallas with his blonde hair, saving the galaxy for all of us, and getting the girl. Amazing. Fifth Element. And finally we have Armageddon. Now normally I would go in order of increasing quality of the movie, and so Armageddon would come in the middle, and Fifth Element, of course, would be our closer as the best movie of the triple feature. However, when a Bayhem-filled action extravaganza is in your movie marathon, it's hard for anything to follow the act, and so we have Michael Bay's take on the idea of what to do when an asteroid is coming to destroy the planet Earth, the global killer. This is the thinking man's version of Deep Impact. And in this one, Bruce has like the even closer cropped hair than in the Fifth Element. It's kind of like, it's honest to God, the hair looks kind of bad in this one. It's definitely blonde, it's definitely close cropped, but he kind of looks more like Tom Hanks in Philadelphia after the disease starts really progressing and ravaging him. Like, because at the beginning of Philadelphia, Tom Hanks has Tom Hanks hair, and then over the course of the film, like all his hair falls out, and when it grows back, it's very like white and wispy, and that's what this kind of looks like in this one. Like it's kind of like they couldn't decide: is he gonna have hair, or is he just gonna have a buzz cut? Or some just sort of like, really just like a quarter-inch sort of thing. And he just kind of looks sick for Bruce Willis. It's just kind of weird. It's like Bruce should either have hair or he should be bald. He works, like both looks work very well on him, mercifully, because he has been like balding since Moonlighting, for God's sake. Like you go back and you watch Die Hard, the hair is very thin. It's kind of fun, like when you see actors in that phase of their receding hairlines, because there's that point where they it's definitely still their hair, but they know what's going on with it, and as a result, they want to accentuate what they've got, and so they don't futz around with it too much. It's just kind of puffed up a little bit to give it more volume, like your Kevin Costner, your Nick Cage in the late 80s, early 90s. And then they start futzing around with it. Bruce, it always sort of seems to work for him, the futzing around. The Nicolas Cage is, man, that guy never has the same hair twice. It's kind of incredible. And Kevin Costner just, I don't know what he's doing with his hair over the years. It's like even in Prince of Thieves, he's very clearly got a retreating hairline. He's kind of daring the audience. It's like, no, you tell me my hairline's receding. You see this hairline? This hairline's perfect. Yeah. But yeah, so back to Bruce. Harry Stamper is... God, it's so hard to describe the plot of Armageddon without, giggling to yourself. And so Harry Stamper runs the crew of the best oil drillers ever, and it is simpler to teach the oil drillers to be astronauts than to teach the astronauts to be oil drillers, because they have to go to the asteroid, drill into the exact center of it, and place a nuclear bomb to blow it into pieces that will harmlessly miss the planet Earth. And because it's a Michael Bay movie with Bruce Willis, man, I have a strong feeling that they're gonna pull it off. They're kind of in spite of Bruce Willis's lackluster blonde hair then as a result of it. So Bruce Willis went blonde between 1997 and 1998. The Jackal, The Fifth Element, and Armageddon. And I'll see you guys next week.